You're going to need your point shoes, some ribbon, 4 equal pieces of elastic, some thread, a needle and pins, some scissors, a lighter, and a pen. We're going to start by trying on our shoes, and I always recommend that you wear whatever padding you would normally wear so you get the most accurate fit. Then you're going to point your foot in the shoe and find the highest point of your arch. That's where we want to mark your shoe. So here, I'm just peeling the shoe back, finding the highest point, and marking my shoe there. Now, just repeat that on the other side. And now here, I'm just marking directly across from my initial mark, but you could also mark that while your foot is in the shoe. Now, let's cut our ribbon. Of course, you could always get flexor ribbons, which I'll show down in the corner. These are ribbons that are already cut for you, and they have elastics sewn into them to protect your Achilles. They're fantastic. But today, I wanted to use regular ribbon just to show you how to cut it. So you're going to fold that long piece in half and fold it in half again until it's folded into 4 equal pieces. Then we're just going to cut it on one end and cut it on the other end. Now we need to burn the raw edges of a ribbon. So take your lighter and you're just going to move the lighter back and forth in front of the ribbon until you've seen that the end of the ribbon has melted and looks something like this. Be careful not to burn the ribbon or yourself. Go ahead and repeat on all of your raw ribbon edges. Now we're going to cut our thread. I'm using bunheads, which is a nice thick thread that's really strong, but dental floss also works fantastic. You're going to need 6 pieces of thread, so I go ahead and cut all of my pieces of thread at the beginning. Then you're going to tie a double knot at the end of each piece. To make my knot, I just make a loop, take the tail and bring it through, and then pull tight. Now you're just going to thread your needle and then pull your needle onto the thread a little bit so you have a tail. And we are ready to start sewing. So we're going to start by folding an edge on our ribbon. I like to fold towards the shiny side. Just fold one little rectangle and then another. And then you're going to take it and pin the ribbon on the mark we made on our shoe. I like to take the folded part and have that towards the inside of the shoe. That way the shiny side of my ribbon is facing out. Now you could sew them separately, but I like to also just add the elastic right here and sew them in one shot. So take a pin and pin your ribbons and elastics. So we're going to start by just making one single stitch through your shoe. So just push your needle through from the inside of the shoe and then bring it back through the outside of the shoe. My needle was giving me a little bit of a hard time. Today I want to show you how to sew on your ribbons and elastics without going through your satin. So we're going to pull apart the canvas and the satin to make some room to make sure that we're only going through the canvas. So I'm just bringing my needle through the canvas, through the ribbon, and through the elastic, and I'm going to be making loops. Now it's really important here that you don't sew through your drawstring because you need to be able to tighten and loosen your drawstring. So I make sure that I just go through the front part of the fabric and not through the actual drawstring. My thread keeps getting hooked on my heel. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and go along and make loops. This is kind of like a whip stitch, but I'm not a sewing expert, so don't take my word for it. I'm just trying to make little loops through all of the material, all the way until I get to the end. Okay, now that we've made it to the end, you can take your pin out, and we're going to do one more stitch all the way through at the end here. So as you can see, these stitches haven't gone through the satin, and you can only see the initial stitch, and then you'll also be able to see this stitch I'm doing right here at the end. After you've done that stitch through the shoe from the inside and then back through from the outside, you're going to go ahead and make a knot to tie off the thread. So I'm just gonna make a loop here, but I'm gonna make it horizontal. And then I'm going to pull my needle through until I see a loop. And then I'm going to thread my needle through the loop and pull tight. Kind of like the same thing that we did to make our double knot. So I'm going to do it again just to be safe. I make a horizontal loop, wait until I have a little circle, and then I'm going to put my needle through the circle and pull tight to have my double knot. My knots look a little funky, but that's okay. So here you can see there's no stitches showing through the satin. And then you can just cut off the tails of both sides of your thread, and then you're all finished there. You go ahead and repeat that on the other side. You're going to need to get out your marking utensil and your padding again, because we're going to try our shoe on again and mark where we want to put the elastic on the back. So you want to pin your elastic about an inch or so away from the back seam. So just stretch the elastic over, trying to feel where it feels tight enough but still loose enough to be comfortable. And then we're actually going to mark the elastic this time. Go ahead and repeat that on the other side. And then once we have marked both sides, you can take the shoe off and we're going to pin it on. Again, you want it about an inch from the back. So when I'm pinning the elastics on the back, I like to put the pin on the outside of the shoe because we're actually going to try the shoe on one more time. So you don't want to have your pins on the inside in case they might poke you when you try it on. Now we're just going to try the shoe on one last time to make sure that the elastic feels good and tight, but not too tight before we sew. And I like to wiggle my foot around a little bit, point it, flex it, make sure it feels nice and comfortable. Then we're going to flip the shoe inside out because I find that is the easiest way to sew the elastic on the back. So we're going to use the same method that we just used. Make your first stitch all the way through the shoe and then sew loops all the way down. Being sure again not to sew through the drawstring. Then at the end, you make a single stitch through the shoe again, and you're going to make your knots. So I always do 2 knots at the end of my sewing to make sure that it's nice and secure. Make a loop, go through the circle of thread and pull tight, and repeat. Then you're just going to take your scissors and cut off your ends again. And ta-da! No stitches show through. It looks really clean. Now we're just going to do that again on the other side, and we'll be finished. Alright, that's it. Now you have your completely finished shoe. Congratulations. Now go forth and enjoy your freshly sewn pointe shoes. There are many ways to sew pointe shoes, but this is my favorite because it really shows off my arch and gives me maximum support. Thanks so much for watching. Please like if this was helpful and subscribe for more. Bye!